This is a policy that is identified very closely with the president of China, Xi Jinping. How far do you think this potentially goes if they get explosive case transmission?
Well, if they indeed get this explosive, right, the cases in the country, well, that is tantamount to basically suggest that this approach, right, is done, right? It's over, right? It has to be abandoned. And China certainly will suffer the short-term pains, right? And potentially there could be social political implications, but if they can muddle through the crises, right, that might take like a couple of weeks, before the whole country is being exposed, right? So they might be actually in much better shape, right? In learning to coexist with the virus.
So in other words, it's possible that taking the pain, as difficult as it would be, might be preferential to trying to maintain this zero COVID policy where you have to continue to lock down more and more, where the economic costs both in China and globally are going to be much larger.
But exactly. Well, so this is essentially what is trade-off between the short-term pain and the long-term pain. In my opinion, right, I think the long-term pain would be a problem for China, considering the social economic cost and the impact on China's foreign relations.
So if you were advising the Chinese government right now, would you be telling them to jettison the zero COVID policy?
Absolutely, I think, but I think it's the timing is not good for now because of the Winter Olympics, right? It's around the corner. So, but I would say after the end of the Winter Olympics, there is a policy window that the Chinese government should seize upon in terms of lowering people's expectations. Teaching people to correctly, right, understand what this new this COVID virus is, including the new variant, and also no longer, right, frame the risk, the virus as like a horrible, so dangerous problem to China. And in the meantime, started to approve by the mRNA vaccines to use them as booster shots, especially on immunosuppressed population. And if the new antiviral drugs become available, I think it will also help. So in this way, you are going to minimize, this potential, right, the devastating impact, right, that even a small opening is going to cause, right, to the entire country.
But you don't think that is going to happen?
Well, I think it is possible, that if you look at how the government abandoned the previous but unfunctioning or unpopular policy, well, it's not going to be like the government formally announced the end of the policy. They just quietly abandoned it or replaced it with a new policy, and people seems to be fine with that.